Hey guys, 2DH Nin is back. Up against Turbo Bird here. I actually played a couple of games against him. This is the first game in our series. Turbo Bird is playing my perpetual nemesis, Captain Soul Ring. Or I should say Captain Sisay, the commander that is a lot better when you draw Soul Ring. And of course I'm playing the budget Nin deck with the two modifications of Rolling Earthquake and Soul Ring myself, just to try to level the playing field a little bit. I actually am now using, since I can't play with Rolling Earthquake in the paper 2DH version, I actually looked around at a bunch of different red X spells and settled on Magma Quake as my sweeper of choice in addition to the just regular Earthquake. I think Magma Quake is probably the closest thing to what I want the Nin deck to do, especially if I'm intending to play multiplayer against decks that are not budget. Mainly because it doesn't damage me, which is generally a good thing, and additionally, it kills all Planeswalkers in play when you cast it for a bunch of mana. It hits every single Planeswalker out there. I think in 2DH itself, where there aren't any Planeswalkers, I think probably Fault Line is best, because it's an instant speed Earthquake effect that damages players. And sometimes you do need reach. Sometimes you just get people low and you need to deal 8 or something. So there's a lot of different choices. There's also, I think it's Volcanic Disaster or something like that. I can't really recall the name, but it's the one that has kicker. Molten Disaster. It's the one that has kicker if you pay an extra red, although RRR is a big ask for the Nin deck with so few good dual lands. Anyway, this is an awesome hand. I am short of having an island in place of this mountain. This is pretty tip-top, given the fact that I can preordain probably into another land, dissipate the next play, control magic the Sisay, or kill it with Flametongue Cabo. I have multiple ways to handle it. So unless he has Soul Ring, shit, man, I'm going to win this game, I think, just from the get-go. And he mulligans, too. So I'm going to play the Highland Lake, which unfortunately is not an island. Naturally, of course, he has Soul Ring on turn 1. Because, you know, that's why it's a game. Yeah, and I can't daze it either. Although, obviously, I would absolutely daze this thing in a heartbeat, even if it meant setting me back a land. Because the cost of 1 land drop to deny him 2 mana permanently is quite worth it. So, fortunately, I have the daze in my hand still, so I can hardcast it against Captain Sisay if he plays at turn 2, which I fully expect him to do. Especially because this is such innocuous mana for a control deck to show. I mean, I don't play my Nin, so at least that kind of telegraphs I might have something. But he probably wouldn't respect it enough anyway. Nin doesn't do anything at the beginning of the game. And sure enough, he runs Captain Sisay into daze, which is absolutely wonderful. And I figure with Preordain in my hand, I can almost certainly get up to Flametongue Cabo or Control Magic range before he can play the Captain Sisay another time. So I'm feeling actually pretty good about that, even though there's a Soul Ring in play. I'm thinking, just let me draw on a Braid or a Vandal Blast. That'd be so amazing. And I draw Soldevi Excavations. Normally quite happy to see that, but unfortunately I have no islands, so I'm going to have to preordain and hope I get an island. And I see Fire Ice, which is yet another way to kill Captain Sisay, and an island. So of course I'm going to keep both of those, put the island on top, and play it. And I don't play Nin here, not because there was any particular reason for it, but simply because I click too quickly, which sometimes happens online. Which is a little unfortunate. I don't actually think the way that this game unfolds that having Nin in play would have changed anything based on what I do the next few turns, but still kind of stupid to have that oversight. He does nothing on turn 4, which is kind of nice, or turn 3, I guess. Alright, so I can play the Soldevi Excavations, which is really fantastic. So imagine if I had Nin in play right here, right? What would I do? I fully intend to ice this during his upkeep. And so that would prevent me from using Nin, so it doesn't really affect anything at all. Actually, I wouldn't be able to counterspell. So I don't think it changed anything. I'm just going to play Nin here. And during his upkeep, of course, ice down the Soul Ring. Hopefully he's just stuck on 3 land. Because if I get to untap and I've got another mana here, and the ability to scry perpetually with Soldevi Excavations, I'm pretty sure that I can lock this game up. It's just a matter of time until I get an artifact kill spell. And I'm starting to feel like I should play a third one. I think I only have, as far as things that just kill an artifact that's in play, I think I only have the Abrade and Vandal Blast. And I really feel like I need to have more than 2 of them. The regular Nin deck has Dak Faden as well, which is, of course, the best answer you can possibly have for Soul Ring if it's mid-game. There's probably some other good stuff. If anybody has any suggestions about a good, versatile artifact kill spell that blue and red can play, I would definitely like to hear it. Maybe there's another charm that does it. I don't know. There's got to be something that's better. That's better than some of the other stuff I'm using. I'm not really particularly happy with Capsize, for example. He's got 4 mana here, and he plays Surok, the Hunt Caller. It's pretty nasty with some other big creatures, but that is... Alright. I draw a mountain here. So the question is, I'll pose this question to you guys, control magic it or Flame Tongue Kabu it? What would you do? Flame Tongue Kabuing it gets the Flame Tongue Kabu onto the board and allows me to apply some pressure. And control magic doesn't really avail me that much, given the fact that, I mean, I guess if the Flame Tongue Kabu comes down, then I do have haste with it. But the more I think about it, I don't really want control magic on Captain Sisay as the answer. I'd much rather just continuously kill it over and over again and make the casting cost so high that he can't replay it. And if that's the game plan, then I'd much prefer to save the Flame Tongue Kabu to kill off Captain Sisay. Additionally, control magic on a 4 toughness creature gives me the ability to shoot it repeatedly for 3. So I decide I'm going to just steal this guy, even if it means he might have a way of killing the enchantment. It's not the end of the world, because I can always just replay the Flame Tongue Kabu and kill it that way. He still just keeps hitting land drops here. And I fully thought that he would just replay Sisay here at 6. But instead he has Karametra. Huh. Well, that's a god I don't really respect a great deal. It hasn't been problematic as a general, but it's actually really, really good in Sisay. Because I kind of have to deal with the commander in short of theft, and I don't have very many ways to steal it. Because I don't get to play with Treachery, and I don't have Veldic Shackles. I kind of have to just deal with him chain casting Sisay over and over again, and every time he casts it, he just gets 1 free land to replay the Sisay the next turn. So it's going to be really, really hard to keep Captain Sisay out of play permanently, since there's no tuck rule, which is really unfortunate. So that's going to present a problem, but at least he's not doing anything else right now. And I really just need to draw a way to kill an artifact. Frustrating. Okay, so bash for 5. And there's certainly no reason to play Jorien here. I could play Jorien here in Merchant Scroll, but I mean, really, what would I get? I'd be tapped out, which is really bad, facing potentially 8 mana next turn. And I really need to Dissipate, even if it means if I Dissipate, I can't use Nin at all. But I'm kind of in a bad spot right now. I really just need 1 more land to make something happen. And I'm short of being able to Capsize Buyback, which I would almost certainly do actually on Karametra if nothing else happened. Alright, he plays another land. Unfortunately, it's tapped. And now he plays Captain Sisay, so he gets another land out of his deck. Now he's up to 10. Well, actually not 10. I guess that's 9. And of course, I'm at the end step. I'm just gonna. There's no reason not to do this right now, I suppose, since I don't think he's going to do anything for 1 white mana that I'm going to want to Dissipate. But I'm going to just shoot his Serok in response with it on the stack. I'm doing this because this sort of bluffs. He obviously doesn't know I'm playing Budgie. He doesn't know I don't have Force of Will or Pact of Negation or something. So this might induce him to do something to his own guy in response to me drawing cards. And sure enough, he's got Path to Exile on it, which I'm honestly not too unhappy to see, just because I'd almost rather get a land into play, directly into play, rather than having to play it, than get 3 random cards off of his guy. Although losing his guy kind of sucks, but I'm not really counting on it for damage. Right, I really need to draw a land here, though, like big time, so I can Flame Tongue and Dissipate on the following turn. But unfortunately, I just draw Worn Power Stone, but I, of course, can't do anything else. I have to kill this, and I'm just going to go Merchant Scroll and get some future Captain Sisay insurance in the form of Electrolyze, since I still need to draw more lands. Other option would have been Fire Ice, but I think that Electrolyze is just better. It's worth it for the extra mana to draw a free card. Alright, I'm just chilling here. He's got a lot of mana, and these Sisay decks tend to play a lot of top end, a lot of things in the 8 to 10 mana range, like Giant Planeswalkers and Ugin the Spirit Dragon and Ulamog and Kozilek and all sorts of horrible stuff. So I'm not really liking my chances with this game. The Karametra is actually a super big problem, but of course everything just enabled by this dumb Soul Ring on turn 1. Avacyn Angel of Hope. Yeah, that means my hopes are certainly dimming with that thing coming into play. And I do have an answer to it in a very roundabout fashion in the form of Capsize with Buyback followed by Dissipate. But man, he's still got 2 cards in his hand and so much mana, and I'm going to have to just keep answering the the dumb Sisay over and over again, and I've lost my control magic, which is going to make it really tough. Alright, Dissolve's decent, but I'm just missing another blue. So I'm going to just have to bide my time here. I'm going to play my Worn Power Stone just to ramp up a little bit. Can't do anything else. I'm just going to take a beating to the face. I'm intending to dissolve whatever he does next turn. Alright, he plays Umazawa's Jete. Obviously that cannot resolve. I'm going to dissolve that. And there's a Great Furnace on top, which of course I'm going to keep, even though it doesn't make blue. And that may have actually been a mistake, I think, in retrospect. Granted, it is more mana, but it's not the mana I need. I really, really need 4 blue here in order to capsize and dissipate. And I think that was probably a mistake. So he plays Malira Silvok Outcast. It's kind of a weird card. Not sure why he's playing that, other than the fact that it's legendary and I guess a bit of a toolbox creature. It does get him another land. Avacyn smashes me for 8. Oh, the door is closing. Come on, deck. Come on, deliver. Give me an island. Oh yeah, that's right. Duh. Of course it's not an island. It's a great furnace I put back on top of my deck. Guess I could have scried it away. Okay. Well, I gotta hope he just bricks completely. So my plan here is that if he replays Captain Sisay, I will capsize with buyback the Avacyn. Yeah, and if he plays Sisay, he can't actually replay the Avacyn. So I'll be able to capsize with buyback, provided that he does that before he attacks. During his attack step, that saves me 8 damage, makes his guys no longer indestructible, and I'll be able to electrolyze. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so I have enough mana to capsize with buyback and then electrolyze Captain Sisay during his end step, untap, and I can dissipate the Avacyn, which will hold off the Captain Sisay at least for one more turn. And then I gotta just basically get Forbid Lock going. That's really the only thing that's going to keep pace with this. Forbid Lock with Nin can beat pretty much anything, especially from green-white. He taps a ton of mana. I'm thinking, what the hell is this before he's even attacking? I'm thinking maybe it's Genesis Wave. And then I realize it's got to be just some dumb giant Eldrazi. And sure enough, it's the worst possible one. I mean, I could deal kind of with Kozilek here, although it would still be nightmarish, but something that is a 10-10 that I have to destroy that also kills 3 of my mana. I mean, it's basically like uncounterable Terastodon, right? That's unbeatable. Alright, so I'm going to dissipate that, of course, losing both my land, and time is really, really running short here. He doesn't attack inexplicably with his indestructible guy. So, end step, I'm just going to pump a bunch of mana into Flametongue Kavu. Come on, deck. At least give me an island to give me some prayer. God. Budget is so painful sometimes. Evolving Wilds. Alright, well that's not an island. Alright, the door is all but shut here. I think about what I'm going to do here and I realize, well, I have Memory Lapse still. I could potentially... I mean, what can I really do? He has just too much mana. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So... in a hypothetical example, I take 8 again, I go to 6, maybe he does something really expensive and I can condescend it, or I just Memory Lapse it, and then like Memory Lapse Captain Sisay, sack this, get an island, draw another island, bounce the Avacyn before it kills me, and then condescend it on the way out. Is still a potential route to victory, but that's a serious underdog hand, like probably less than 2% chance now. Living Plane. What the hell? I guess that's in there to combo with his Avacyn. He must have some... I think this is in here because his deck can so reliably get the Grand Cenobite. Because Grand Cenobite plus Living Plane is so insane. I mean, you kill a whole table of people, right? It's just ridiculous. I'm going to have to Memory Lapse that for lack of anything better to do, since I would die otherwise. I'm going to get my island. Take a ton. I'm not going to chump. There's no reason to. Alright. What are the outs here? They're basically 0, I think. And he's still got enough mana to play his stupid Sisay. And of course, I ribbed him a little bit because he played Captain Sisay after attacking. And he could have gotten Karametra into the mix as well, which would have forced me to chump block with Nin to survive at all. But I don't think it matters. And Muddle is not the answer. So regrettably, this game ends in defeat against Turbo Bird. I tried my best, but sometimes the budget deck is just too slow and it doesn't have the tools to deal with fast starts from non-budget decks, especially non-budget decks that play with Sol Ring and get it on turn 1. But hope you guys enjoyed that game and listening to my thought process as I tried to scrabble my way through a game that was I don't know, felt like it was kind of lost from midway. And certainly the Ulamog sealed it. But can't win them all. I do win probably over 90% of the games with this budget deck. But I wanted to give you an example of a game that I did lose. And hope you enjoyed that. Another one to come. See you soon.